My guest today is Manny Mair, who's a personal trainer with multiple certifications, a Marine veteran, and the owner of One-to-One Fitness Studio and many other endeavors. In today's episode, Manny and I talk about his obstacle race, Soldier Rush, which helps support his nonprofit organization, Fitness on a Mission. Welcome to Lifeology.
Thank you so much, James. I'm excited to be here.
My viewers and listeners obviously don't know this, but you and I live in the same building, and we randomly met in the gym, of course. And you came up to me, we started talking, and I got to hear all the great things about you. And of course, I had to have you on my show. Now, before we get started, though, how did you?
Well, I just want to tell the listeners who probably never seen you before, James is jacked. He gets in the gym and he gets at it. Okay, just a little FYI.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
He owns the gym.
Thank you. Now, before we get started, I do want to find out for you, what was it about the military that really drew you to it?
Okay, so the military, that first started with me wanting to become a firefighter. And because I was very young at the time, and a lot of departments, they like for you to have experience, either work experience, school, or military. And I was 18 at the time, and James, I got to tell you, they told me I took a test with over 1,000 firefighters and applicants throughout the United States, and I actually scored in the top 10.
Oh my gosh, of course you did.
Yeah, at 18 years old, it was Deerfield Beach Fire Department. It got scored in the top 10, and I'm pretty good with math and like figuring things out, so that helped me navigate that very well. And they said, hey, why don't you join the military? So I joined the Marines.
Wow. Well, obviously, I'm sure you've heard this many times, but seriously, thank you for your service as well. Now, in the military, in the Marines specifically, there's so many different things that you learn. And so as you got out of the Marines or out of the military, what was some of the big takeaways you learned, and how did you want to give back to others?
Well, one of the big takeaways I had with the Marines is prior to going in, I have a brother who's 9 years older than me. He always said, remember you're a mayor and things like that, and I was like wondering, what did he mean by that? It's not like my father was an Olympian or did something amazing, in the for mankind or anything like that. But what I went into boot camp with was like, you know what? Remember who you are, all right, and go out there and get at it, okay? And when I was in boot camp, I was considered Iron Man. Sorry, we did what's called an Iron Man. I actually won like their Iron Man. So basically, we compete against other platoons, and I was number one with all the running and pull-ups and push-ups and sit-ups and all that stuff. And so that gave me a really, really great start with for confidence. So I always feel like, joining the military can be a really great thing for anyone, to help to build confidence and, camaraderie, and understand how important it is to be able to look out for other people and also depend on other people as well, because that's what the military is all about, taking care of the person to the left of you and to the right of you, and they'll do the same as well.
When you left the armed forces, or excuse me, when you left the military, you started with fitness, because obviously that's something you're incredibly good at. What was it, the specific aspects that says, I really want to be able to give back to my community, and I know I can do that through fitness, health and fitness? When you first started, what was some of the concerns you had? Like, man, maybe I can't do this, or how do I do this? How do I give back to others?
Right. So by that time when I actually started Soldier Rush, I've already been in the fitness game for probably about 20 years. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And by that time, I've already worked with like a lot of NHL and NFL athletes in their off season, a lot of youth athletes that wanted to go next level. So I've already kind of realized that I'm capable of doing a lot of things. I've learned that I'm a multitasker. I love building things and stuff like that. So, I've always, go to all these races where, you make donations, for veterans, and like it might be different organizations, for diabetes and stuff like that, or for, kids in distress. I was very, very big part of kids in distress for quite some time. And I've always done a lot of 5Ks. There's always like 5Ks going on around town. And I was also a racer with Spartan, an elite
Hmm.
racer in with
Wow.
the Spartan organization. And I always felt like Spartan was built for someone like myself. Okay.
Hmm.
So I always like wonder, like, well, what about the other 97% of the people who they kind of fail on half of the obstacles? Okay.
Yeah.
And so I decided to create something that I felt could make people feel like they have a sense of accomplishment at the end of the race. As opposed to saying, oh, wow, yeah, I did this really intense race, but I failed on half the obstacles.
Mm,
And
yeah.
so I kind of like did a little bit of interviewing of folks while they were doing a race, and so I decided to come up with Soldier Rush. And I'm fortunate that I live in an area where I'm on 2.5 acres, so I have plenty
Mm,
of property.
wow.
Uh, my favorite store is Home Depot, so
That's right.
I've already at this point built 9 barns, horse stalls, and stuff. Um,
Oh, okay.
so I realized that I'm pretty handy, and
Mhm.
um,
Well,
I went
let me
to
interrupt for just a second because we're jumping into another later part of the show I want to get into. So let's
oh,
first off tell people what is Soldier Rush, because I'm sure people are like, what is this at all? So give us the explanation of what Soldier Rush is, and then we'll talk about how that came about, which it sounds like through the Spartan race. But specifically,
yeah.
what is Soldier Rush, and what is it? Why is it different than other races?
Yeah. So Soldier Rush, it's an obstacle course race. It's a kind of military themed obstacle course race. And I have roughly about 60 obstacles. Okay. A lot
Wow.
of other races have about 20. Now, their obstacles are usually pretty intense, like,
Mhm.
8 foot high walls. So instead of having an 8 foot high wall, I have 17 4 foot high walls. Okay.
Okay.
Instead of having a 30-foot rope climb, my rope climb is 15 feet, and some of my ropes have knots in there. If someone
Okay.
is not very good at rope climbing. A lot of the obstacles are things that you can pick up and put down along the way. So if
Okay.
you're unable to just go the entire time, carrying, doing farmer's carry, or the jerry can, which is a
Mhm.
military like water can or gas can, and you're able to like rest and take your time, but they're not impossible for you to do. They're
Yeah.
doable, but they're going to grind you though. So that's where you have this
Mhm.
like really great sense of accomplishment at the end. So that's kind of what the difference is. And a lot of people say they have more fun at Soldier Rush than they do at these other big races,
Sure.
because even though it's the same distance, it's a lot less running, but more obstacles along the way. So
Okay.
you're
And for
always being challenged, and having a good time with your friends.
Yeah, so for someone like me, I love, I've done many of these obstacle courses, and for me, I just love the obstacle courses itself. I mean, if I have to run, I run, but I don't really like to run as much. So I know that's
Yeah.
really exciting about your obstacle course. So you said there's 60 obstacle courses, and with that, they're all at different levels, I suppose. So if you want to be more advanced, there might be a little bit more advanced, but if you want to maybe bypass that particular obstacle, you may as well. So 5K.
Absolutely.
Now, before we could move more into that, I remember though when I was talking to you, you were the one who actually builds all those obstacles, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
I it legit, like, I at the time it wasn't Run Sign Up. We use Run Sign Up right now.
Okay.
I can't remember the name of the organization that we so I basically put the race up, and I'm like, all right, let's see what happens. And all of a sudden someone signed up. And I was like, whoa.
That's awesome.
Someone signed up for the race. And at this time, I had no obstacles at all. So,
Okay. Oh gosh.
yeah, like, okay, I got to build an obstacle course race
Yeah.
now. So I went to Home Depot with my American Express card, and ordered like $7,000 worth of
Oh
lumber,
my gosh.
and went out and found a trailer. And my next door neighbor, Derek, who's amazing, he fixed the trailer for me, and I started building these walls. And then before you know it, it's Derek and myself building these walls. And then we have the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas GROTC kids.
Hmm.
They're out there with me building walls and building obstacles. And yeah, before you know it, Soldier Rush was created.
Who actually came
Yeah.
up with the obstacles themselves? So like, how did you design the obstacles? Say, I want this here, this there. I want a wall. I want to do walls. I want to do ropes. How did you come up with the different obstacles?
Based on all the different courses I've done
Hmm.
over the
That makes
years,
sense.
and
Yeah.
being a fitness coach for like 20 plus years at this time, I've learned what it is that people are capable of, whether
Hmm.
it be, can most people do pull-ups? Well, that can
Yeah.
also translate into whether or not they can do a rope climb.
Yeah, sure.
Well, how does somebody get over a wall? Well, if you have upper body strength, so okay, well, then how high should I make this wall? So then I decided, okay, I'm gonna make the walls that they're not so hard to get over, and then I even go a step further and actually put a step on the wall
Okay.
for someone who may not even be able to get over a 4 foot high wall. So I've
Hmm.
really, really helped. I've really kind of designed it so that if you're elite, you're going to fly over the wall. If you're
Hmm.
not so elite, you're going to be able to hoist yourself up and get over the wall. And if you're kind of like the couch to 5K kind of a
Hmm.
scenario, if you
Yeah.
need to step on something to get over the wall. So I've kind of
Perfect.
created it for all fitness levels.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the next question I was going to ask you is who is this particularly for? Because as we know, like a Spartan race, Tough Mudder, all those are maybe for a certain type of person. And so, but it sounds like for Soldier Rush, it sounds like it's all inclusive for every single person at every different fitness level.
Yes. So James, I want to throw something out at you. If you and
Yeah.
I go out and we're going to run a 5K, even though I know
Uh-huh.
you hate running, right?
I do.
So I already have an advantage because James hates running. Okay. So if we go out and we run a 5K, the fact that we're racing, we're going to be challenged in the end because we're
Hmm.
in a race. And it's not
Hmm.
like we're running like a 40 or 50. We're running 3 miles, right? Now,
I can do that.
yes, right, right.
Yeah.
Now, if we throw some obstacles in there, even though my friends who are like super elite with obstacle course racing, when they come out, they're like, "Man, Manny, you kicked my butt," and I'm
Oh,
like,
nice.
"Yeah, yeah." I said because you were racing,
Yeah.
So the fact that they're racing and 60 obstacles in front of you, it's going to be challenging if you're an elite person because
Hmm.
anyone who's elite, they're not going to go out there and like, oh wow, I just want to kind of jog this course and get through it.
Yeah.
No, they want to be a champion. They want to be like the soldier, win the Soldier Rush trophy and stuff like that. So, um, yeah, it just really, really impacts everyone in a positive way. Everyone
Yeah.
has a take home from it.
Yeah. Now I know that the tickets they actually go towards your nonprofit organization. Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
Tell me more about that.
So, yeah, so I created a nonprofit called Fitness on a Mission because
Okay.
obviously I'm into fitness and
Hmm.
I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission to make everyone healthy and so I have a nonprofit 501(c)(3) and I've worked with a lot of NHL athletes and NFL athletes over the years, so they've all been huge supporters of it, and because it's a nonprofit, it encourages others to donate more because it's a write off for them. So
Yeah, that's
prior
fair.
to me having, yeah, it's a very very important. So prior to me having a not having a nonprofit, my clients who own big companies, they might donate, $500 or something like that. So now they'll donate 2,500,
Mm.
okay, because it's a write off for them. And so in the beginning, I wasn't able to raise that much money, for
Yeah.
donations. But over the years, we've been able to make a pretty good impact with some of our local and national organizations. Yeah.
That's fantastic. So, Fitness on a Mission, what does it do?
What do you mean? What does it do?
So,
Fitness
Fitness on
on
a
a
Mission,
mission?
so the mission is what? So, it gives back to local community, gives back to the larger community. What's the mission of Fitness on a Mission?
Oh, putting on events that
Oh, okay.
we can raise money for our veterans and first responders. Yeah,
Oh, perfect.
yeah,
Okay. And that's what I want to hear,
yeah.
the veterans and first responders. Obviously, if
Yes,
we can support them as much as possible, that is absolutely fantastic as
yes.
well. For some of the people who've done the race, I know you said about your elite athletes, but what about some of the people who aren't elite athletes? What has been some of the reviews of it, or what have they told you about that for them? How did it
Oh my
inspire them?
God.
What did it change for
Holy smokes! Are you kidding me? James, I gotta tell you, the first time I did the race, because it was very stressful. I was out there for
them?
like 4 or 5 days building the course. And
Oh my
I was
gosh.
like, what did I get myself into? Like, I'm sure this thing was a flop. Nobody's going to have a good time. So that night when the photographer sent me like 7,000 pictures and videos.
Wow.
And so I got an opportunity to see all the things that I didn't see at the race, because I'm obviously out there trying to make sure that
Mhm.
everything is being run smooth, and just on that mission to make sure everybody has a good time. I got to tell you, everyone had an amazing time. The
I
interviews
bet.
that I saw, people were comparing me to the big races. And
Wow.
so that's where I get this idea that, it seems to be a lot, have a lot more impact from people having a good time, and people say, I felt so good about it. I was like, they use the word sense of accomplishment. I
Wow.
was like,
That's
I
important.
was able to do it. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. It was really, really hard, but I did it.
Yeah.
That was the big thing, is I did it. And so a lot of folks feel really, really proud of themselves.
Yes.
I got to tell you one more interesting thing with the race. I had one of the other coaches, their client, a couple days before she actually signed up. She said, Manny, I got to talk to you for a second. I really want to sign up for Soldier Rush, but I just don't think that I can do it. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I really wish I could speak to you right now about it. But just sign up. You're gonna be fine. Trust me. So she told me that 2 days later, she says, I signed up. And she says, I was looking through your website and I kept searching back and forth. I kept going on and off your website. And I said, I found somebody who looks like me. And I was like, interesting. So
That is
she
interesting.
felt like she found somebody who was probably at the fitness level that she was. And she said, that person did it. I'm going to do it too. So
That is
yeah,
awesome.
that made me feel really good.
I think that is one of the things that does deter a lot of people from doing races like this is because you see some of those people that may not look like you, um, that are they win these races, and so you're like, gosh, I don't have that fitness body, or I don't have the endurance, and so a lot of people shy away from that, and it creates this segregation between the quote athletic people and the people who may not be athletic, and so it creates this wall. And so the great thing about your race, Soldier Rush, is as we said earlier, so inclusive. So you'll see all different types of people, from really, really elite athletes to people who aren't that athletic. And so it really creates this sense of community, this camaraderie. Everybody's cheering each other on. And I think it really unifies the community in a lot of ways.
Absolutely. I mean, we have American Twisters. Now, these kids, they're 7 years old, but they're pretty elite. They're
Yeah.
gymnasts.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
they'll, yeah, they'll build a team of like 192 participants. Okay. I
Wow.
mean, literally one team, 192. We have another gym that also they build up to 196 participants last year, because they've been
Wow.
doing the race for years, and like they use it as a tool for motivating their clients and giving their clients something to train towards. So they've really, really, um, helped to bring Soldier Rush into their community
Mm,
and make it like an annual event that they have everyone in their gym do.
yeah.
And
Well, that makes me think of this as well.
there's
So you talk about different teams. So if I come in and I run the race, do I come in as a solo person? Do I create a team? How does that work?
Yes, you could come in as an individual, but I don't want you to. I want you to bring 10 people with you. Okay. So, yes, you can either run as an individual or you can create your own team. Okay.
Okay.
And I mean, we have so many teams. No one wants to do this on their own. So they want to,
Yeah.
spread the fun with with everyone. So we encourage you to build a team, to have that camaraderie and doing it with
Yeah.
someone or someone to race against.
Sure. Yeah, that's fair. Now I know that it is here in South Florida. So what about individuals who don't live in South Florida? What would you say to that?
Well, you can still go to soldierrush.com.
Hmm.
And because you can't participate, I mean, you could jump on an airplane.
I
We
mean,
have
that's
plenty of hotels around town. I'm sure
yeah.
the city of Parkland and Coral Springs and Coconut Creek would love to have you stay in one of their hotels. But if you can't participate, you can donate. Okay.
Yes.
Donations are very, very important because it is a big event. It's a lot of moving parts. And, we try to raise as much money as we can so that we
Mhm.
can take care of those who have
Yes.
basically signed a contract that says, you know what, I'm willing to cash this check for my life. Okay, to give you my life. I've signed this contract where I'm saying I'm willing to protect and serve you. You live in the United States of America. You can have a business. You can go to school. You can have whatever it is that you want because I'm on that line ready to fight for you.
So Manny, talking about Soldier Rush, what are your goals for it? Because as we said, it's in South Florida for right now. What are your goals for it? How do you want it to expand?
So currently, right now, it's once a year. In 2024, we are going to aggressively plan one in each Tri-County area. So we're gonna shoot towards going to Fort Lauderdale, Miami, and Palm Beach. Okay. So we're already in talks with the cities about that, and I'm also creating something called Soldier Rush Games. So if we're in a situation where, let's say in Fort Lauderdale, and we're unable to find a piece of land that we can do a 3-mile race, we're planning on creating Soldier Rush Games, which is going to be obstacle, maybe in like a 1-mile distance, just nonstop obstacles. So I'm sure like a lot of folks who don't like to run, or whether they like to run or not, they're just going to love that event as well. So we want to share the love with everyone.
Yeah, and I think that's how all the other races started. They started at one location and then it expanded throughout the U.S. as well. So I know that when people go to soldierrush.com, they'll see all the different events. So at the time of this event, I know you have an event coming up soon. I told you I don't like to put timestamps on my show, but we'll put a timestamp on this now. Was it November
11th, Veterans Day.
November 11th, 2023, is I know you have a race coming up very soon. And so what I would encourage my viewers and listeners is to go to the website, soldierrush.com, and get your ticket right away. And if you hear the show later, because we know the show will syndicate for multiple years to come, just simply go to soldierrush.com and you can find out all the different events there, see where there's in your local area, and we can move forward from there. But Manny, any takeaways?
And remember, James, if they don't participate, they can donate.
Exactly. One of my favorite quotes is the last person in the race beats the person on the couch. And so what that means is simply doing something a little bit different than you've done before allows you to get out of your comfort zone and to be a part of something that's greater than yourself. And so once again, wherever you are in your fitness level, your fitness journey, I know that Soldier Rush is going to be a wonderful opportunity for you to push beyond some of your limits, push beyond some of the struggles that you have to help you be able to transform your life and to become something different and something more evolved than you currently are as well. So any takeaways? We have 1 more minute. Any other thing you want to say before we close out?
James, you're really hitting home with some really important stuff, about mental health there, and one of the things, I have organizations reach out to me that are veteran organizations with veterans who are suffering from PTSD and just not feeling very good about themselves, and they say, hey Manny, can we send some folks out to help you to build the race, because it gives community a sense of accomplishment, of feeling as though, wow, I participated in constructing this event that just served a community of so many people. And then not only that, being able to give back to the organizations that they're a part of or other organizations as well. And so Soldier Rush it's for everyone, whether you participate, you help to build it, you help to run it that day, or just, go on there and donate. So it's for everyone.
That's really great. I'm glad to hear that, all the different levels, from the planning, from the organization, from the setup, from the teardown, from the actual race itself, so many different moving parts there. And so people from all over the community and whatever area that a person's able to give or help, I know that we've greatly appreciated by you. So if my viewers and listeners do want to participate, which I highly encourage that, where would they find all this information online?
So you go to www.soldierrush.com, and right there at the top, you have a menu, and you can choose if you want to participate in this event. And it's super easy to sign up, and just www.soldierrush.com and like our Facebook and Instagram and follow us and see all the great things that we're doing.
Wonderful. Manny, Mair, thank you so much for being a fantastic guest on my show today. Once again, I highly endorse and encourage my viewers and listeners to go to soldierrush.com and to purchase your ticket today. Once again, if you hear this later after 2023, once again, go to that website to either donate or sign up for the upcoming race as well. Manny, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time today.
James, thank you.